Hi guys, welcome to Pita Party the podcast. Today we've got Ali. Hi Ali, and we also have a special guest, Siobhan, from Fitness Furnace, or how do you?
From Ireland.
I don't know how do you introduce yourself.
I know, people are like, what are you? I'm like, I don't know, personal trainer that does loads of different things.
What a question.
Yeah.
Well, Siobhan is a friend from home. So I guess that's, where we could start from that. She's a friend from Ireland.
Just a randomer, just bring me on. Bring the chats up.
Well, I guess, we could start, give yourself a bit of an introduction. You know, who are you? What are you? Where are you from? Who's Siobhan?
I'm Siobhan. I'm from Ireland. I'm 33. And I like long walks on the beach. I've built a bit of a following online, purely like originally around fitness. You know, like I did the whole thing, was in the corporate job and miserable, and it's like, what can I do with my life? Quit my job to become a personal trainer, and then at the same time, decided I had to look like a personal trainer and got myself into great shape and shared that journey online. And of course, everyone was like looking at me going, how do I do that? So look, I gathered a bit of following doing that, but that was like 6 years ago, and since then it's been a roller coaster of a journey. Like I've done bodybuilding competitions,
Wow.
But that's all. I did one, sorry. and that's it.
Still impressive. One's more than me, so.
Yeah, it was really tough, and it was one of those things that's like, I'm glad I did it, but like I wouldn't recommend anyone else to do it, because since then I've just been, it really, like it's one of those things that you're in a really, you know, when you're really motivated and you're ticking boxes and you're waking up every day and you're like, God, I'm so productive, and you know, you're being really disciplined and you're seeing the results, but then you get to the end and you don't really get anything out of it, and you're like, why did I do that? And
I guess one of the things, you know, your following is you have a bit more of a realistic kind of holistic approach to fitness, and a bit more of a one of Siobhan, because I've been obviously following her for a while, is a bit more of like a lifestyle rather than, so I think, and that's been part of your journey of doing the bodybuilding, was that it was an unhealthy mindset towards body image.
Yeah. I mean, most kind of when fitness. When you think of fitness, you know, a lot of people just think, even if they don't know me, they haven't heard of me, they probably think they're going to click on my page and just see, you know, abs and workouts and recipes, and like it actually couldn't be anything less. I have decided that I no longer cook. Like I hate cooking, and I've decided that I do not cook, and I don't live anywhere, so I just travel, and like this is the.
Well, that's a challenge.
You know, like, yeah, exactly. In terms of, you know, staying in shape, it's like, and I train now. I do Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu and CrossFit. Like I don't even train to be in shape anymore. I train to like perform. But so if you look at my page, it's like there's not really any.
Well, you're more of a lifestyle blog.
Yeah.
You've got your own Fitness Furnace, which is your business, but your Instagram, well, I would describe it more as a lifestyle.
Yeah. I kind of had to realize that earlier in the year, because I was, you know, I try and put out fitness content, but then nobody cares. You know, people just want to see me dressed up at the weekend. Like, no, and they're like, here's a video of me doing 100 kilo deadlifts 10 times, you know, and no one cares. And then I'm like,
I guess there's so much of that on Instagram as well. There's so much fitness. You have a huge following, 156K, isn't it?
It depends, like what relative to what. You don't even, you know, but for me, it's never really been about the number of followers. It's all about building trust with the people I have there. So, you know, always really being myself and showing myself as I am. You know, obviously I've seen people that have millions of followers, but it's purely because of what they look like, or, you know, they don't have any interaction with their, you know, like I share my whole life on my story. Like people know me and know what I'm like, and it just means that, when I do come to obviously sell my program, you know, people know that I'm living a balanced life. I'm not going to, that's why I showed everything originally, was to prove that.
Yeah, well, me and Ali know that, like, if you put up a bikini selfie or dressed up, you get way more likes. I'm like, I'll give the people what they want. Clever. But I also think probably people like that with you because they like to see that you still can be fit, but still be dressed up and have a cocktail, and it makes people feel better and less guilty of like having their margarita or, you know, and that's probably where I'm going to imagine where most of your following are. And that's probably why like they like you dressed up on a Saturday night being like, yeah, you know, I like that.
Hashtag balance.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's it. I was never going to give it up. Like, you know, like I value having fun and socializing more than I value what I look like. But I actually realized over the last 2 years that like once you can actually get in shape and have a bit, you know, a bit of everything, which everyone knows, but especially that's something I kind of cracked on my programs, like looking at average calories for the week and blah, blah. But it meant then it's like, oh, I can actually go out and get lean. I was like, this is it. I was like, this is what I always wanted to show that I was going out, because I know that as much as I don't care what I look like anymore, I know so many women do. And it's like, I just want to help them get out of that mindset. Like, and it's when you actually stop trying so hard that you can get into a healthy position and find, get into a place where you love your body, or at least like it, which, you know, a lot of people don't.
Yeah. That's something that Daisy and I have definitely, we caused quite a lot of discussion when we were filming Below Deck, and we had a conversation about, I was talking about my body insecurities and Daisy said she could relate, and so many people who just looked at us like we were human beings for a moment, like we had insecurities. And when you can show that to other people and they don't feel so alone, it definitely brings a bit of closeness to that Instagram world, that social media platform.
But do you notice, I see this now online all the time, that, you know, it's people are almost pointing it out for the likes, you know, it's like, look at me, I have cellulite.
Well, it was funny because I was doing my Daisy Does Drama yesterday, and I said, you know, someone said, what's your drama of the week? And I was like, oh, I actually have really bad anxiety this week, which I have. This week it's just been on fire. And my friend texts me going, you're officially an influencer.
Share your struggles.
The minute you mention word anxiety or exactly that, like no filter, cellulite, you're like, yep, there you go. You're the influencer. Ticking all the boxes.
I never had that transition. I just gradually became one. I was like, oh, I am. But
no, you're definitely
cellulite and stuff. I realized the best way to approach it is actually just to like show my body and stop apologizing or stop pointing it out. And that's actually the most beneficial thing, because, you know, obviously I see tiny little women who I think are in amazing shape, and they're like, look, I love my body with my cellulite. And I'm like, yeah, of course you do. I'd love your body too.
I'd take all that cellulite to look like you.
If you think that's like, you know, if you think you look in any way bad for pointing that out, what does that make me, or obviously anyone in a bigger body than me, you know, like what does that do? So I think we can normalize the most by actually just not mentioning it, not pointing it out.
I totally agree with you on that. Like, I think, you know, because me and Ali have been obviously thrown into this platform rather than built it like you have. I never, you know, aspired to be, you know, on social media or anything like that. And it's just kind of naturally happened. And for me, as much as I'm, you know, as much as I can be happy with my body, I'm also very happy to pick out nice photos, even if it's not the best. But, you know, I have no intention of ever photoshopping it or filtering it or anything like that. But I'm also very happy to pick out the better angle. And I'm also very happy not to point
your best self.
And I'm also happy not to point out my cellulite. And so even if it's there, you know, I'm happy to put the picture up, but I don't feel the need to be like an arrow being like, look how proud I am of this. And, you know,
that's what I see online as well. Like, because there's one thing I don't like, it's inauthenticity. Like, that's what I realized. I was like, you know, some people just give me the ick. I'm like, what is it? And I realized it's when people are being inauthentic.
Because it's like going to a bar. You should do the same thing if you're going to a bar. You're going to stand up straight. You're going to try look your best. You're not going to sit there pointing at your cellulite being like, hey guys, look at my beautiful dress, but look at all my cellulite that, you know, and I don't care. And that, you know, that's the way your Instagram
waiting for all the women in the bar to be like, yeah, you go, girl. Yeah, I just think being yourself, and like, because you know, I feel like people are pointing it out and apologizing for it are also probably aren't comfortable with it.
Yeah, no, I definitely
it's a funny
agree
world
with
online.
you.
It's a funny balance to find, and like just be yourself and stop trying to
It's constantly shifting and changing as well. How long has it been since you sort of started your journey?
That was this time, 2014. I was like, right. I mean, I was always kind of into the gym and stuff, and then I kind of I was miserable in my job. Like I was working in like finance, and I actually liked the job, but I just felt like, is this it? It was another 40 years of sitting at that desk, and I was 25. And then I was like, there has to be something else. And because I like going to the gym, I was really upset at the HR office. And I was like, what can I do with my life? And she was like, well, what do you like to do? I was like, go to the gym. She's like, why don't you become a personal trainer? And I was like, are you joking? You know, when you're like, I'm a party animal. I just go to the gym sometimes in between, so I don't feel as bad for going out so much. And I don't know, I was just kind of desperate. I was like, okay, maybe I'll look at doing courses. So then I had to get myself in shape. So that was November 2014, and by January 2015, I remember I had 600 followers, and I was like, oh my god, because I had basically told everyone on my personal page, I was like, if anyone's actually interested in fitness, I'm going to set up a separate fitness page. And then
that's what's quite cool about your I like about your Instagram story, is because it was organic. It wasn't just you woke up one day being like, right, I'm going to be an influencer. Which is absolutely fine if there are people out there, fair play to them. But I definitely prefer the people who it happened organically. And I think,
to be honest, I think it's better for myself as well, like for my own head, because I always worry about people on the programs, coming out having, like, I've built up such a tough skin from all the critics, all the trolls, all the just people giving, your opinion on stuff. And I always worry about people coming out of a TV program and then having a following, and then it's like, after a certain number, people just think, oh, and now they are, now I can give them my opinion.
No, you're absolutely right.
Now I can tell them what I think.
I think Ali and Danny, have a more of a bigger following than I do, and it's definitely true. The bigger what larger your following is, I definitely think the more trolls you have, because I think with the smaller following, they, like you said, the trust and the actually they want to be there. So I think with my following, because it is a bit smaller, it's actually people who are interested in me. But then eventually you just get so big that people are just following you because of willy-nilly, and they're the ones who who aren't really invested in you, and who feel like they can give you their unwanted and unsolicited
and you can't make any mistakes.
Opinions. No, it's crazy. And I know before the show I spoke to Siobhan for some advice, because I was like, oh my god, I'm so bloody scared. I do not need to be online trolled and attacked, but I've been okay so far. I haven't had
I'm like, oh, look at you.
I know. Well, that's
I get everything. Actually, yesterday, just quick, like, to give an example, I found out a guy from my estate, like, at home, died in Australia, and I didn't know him, but like I knew him, but like I'd be much closer friends with his friends, and it was really sad. I thought I'd set up a GoFundMe. So I would never normally share GoFundMes because I get asked all the time, but obviously I knew the family, and I said I'd share it. And then someone from a fake account messages me and was like, how much did you donate? Your anonymous €10, and then you try and get your followers to donate, like, absolutely disgraceful. I was like, do you actually want me to tell you how much I donated? I obviously didn't, but like, it's just like, why would you troll me on that? Like, why would you, like, I get trolled on everything.
That's ridiculous. But like,
even that. Then you just learn to just go, that person is trying to get a reaction out of me, so I literally just ignore it. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The odd ones I do get, which luckily I just delete. I don't even engage. I don't even give them the time of day. I think it's crazy the stuff people will come out with. And, I know that you've had a pretty tough time, especially with the traveling, which is really unfortunate, because I've been really lucky because my whole job is traveling. And my following's the US. I never really got
I was just unfortunate because I stuck to all the rules. Like, I was so afraid of breaking a rule, because it's like, you just can't make a mistake online or you'll get like destroyed. So I was sticking to all the rules, making sure I got permission from embassies, I can go to this country, doing all the tests, everything. And I think it's just because in Ireland, travel was like the rule was no non-essential travel, and they were seeing me going from Indonesia to Portugal, and they were like getting angry. And I can understand from like an envious point of view, like, Ireland's in lockdown, people are angry.
That still doesn't justify, trolling or you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, I completely agree with you. There's being envious, and there's, you know, sitting with your glass of wine with your friends being like, oh, did you see your one Siobhan, like traveling, blah, blah, blah. But that's just you just can't compare that to going online and taking the time out of your day to write something negative to someone. I just, you know, I'll never ever understand it. And
that's because you're in a good place. You know, like I just have to remind myself that these people, like I don't get angry at them. I'm like, you know what, you just need, you know, they want to vent at me. I'm like, okay, fine. It's not like, I'm not going to change what I do. I'm not going to be like, oh, sorry, you said I shouldn't travel. Okay, cancel that flight. Like,
yeah, and I guess that's a part of, you know, what, when you take on the role that you've taken, that's something we just need to accept and just say it's part, you know, part of the job criteria. Unfortunately, online trolling is part of it. It's,
yeah,
you know,
it's not going to go away. So I just, you learn to live with it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think the more people know, the more people are familiar with you, you know, the more they can tell you. But to be honest, like it always comes back, like we always end up having conversations about trolling, but there's just so many benefits. Like there's so many nice people following you. Like the trolls is it's a tiny proportion, you know, and most people don't even realize that, you know, people who've never had any followers are not used to getting, or like, you know, I show my family a message or my friends, like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I get stuff like that all the time. You know,
some of the kindness is just unbelievable. Like it gives you hope, actually. I feel like it really outweighs.
And do you get many people like stopping you in public and stuff to say hello? Do you ever get that?
I don't, because the Below Deck's not very big in Australia, so
okay.
I haven't.
I get it a bit.
At least you can be anonymous then.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Majority is mine. Yeah,
I can go down the shops and look really ugly. So like, it's like shit hair, shit clothes.
Yeah, it always makes me laugh when people message being like, yeah, we'd be like, oh, you're such a celebrity. I'm like, I really wouldn't go that far. Like, yeah, exactly.
I was staying on Grafton Street when I was in Dublin the last time, and it was like, there was a studio that it was cheap, it was central for Christmas time, but I was like, what a terrible mistake. So like, I was kind of just going out to go to the gym, and like Grafton Street is like the main shopping street in Dublin at Christmas time, and every time I walked out of the street, like just to go to the shop and get food, like everyone's so dressed up and going in and out of the shops, and they're like, Siobhan. I'm like, oh. Well, why did I stay here? Like I just don't get done up. But it's so nice, and like people stop and say hello. Like people are always like apologizing. I'm like, are you mad? This is insane.
That's
you know, like,
so lovely.
So cool.
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah, it must be, you know, like you were saying about the opposite to the trolling. You know, sometimes I get some really sweet messages of people like, you know, who say really lovely things, being like, you really helped me through a dark time or whatever it is. And I can imagine you must get a lot of that, especially, you know, being a personal trainer and changing people's lives for the better. That must really outweigh the trolls and the negativity.
Yeah, like I do these calls with everyone who like finishes my program, and like they're just so positive. You know, it's like only because I know that I was in that position where, you know, they hate, you know, really just tied up in diet culture, and like, you know, they're hating their body, guilt around food and everything. And now they're just like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm great, I'm in better shape and I'm happy. And I'm like, that's all that matters. And like, so then that's so rewarding. And like, I've just helped that person get to like where I am now.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's rewarding, and that's what gives me purpose.
Yeah, it makes it meaningful doing that type of work. It definitely really does when you get that type of feedback.
Yeah, compared to like obviously doing kind of influencer stuff as well. You know, it's like, oh, this is handy, you know, pays bills, but something I like, it's great. But like, there's no real purpose in it. You know, like it's like.
So is your main kind of focus your PT business, and then, you know, and it's in your Instagram kind of more of like an advertising tool?
Yeah, well, that was never the plan. Yeah, like it was always, I mean, originally I set up the Instagram to advertise the fact that I was a personal trainer now, and, you know, come join me in the gym, sign up for whatever it was per hour at the time. And then it just grew and grew. And like, I never really, I don't know, like even when I started, there wasn't even, the word influencer didn't exist, you know, like there was never, you know, some companies were like, you know, they'd see me sharing all my food because I was showing what I was doing to get in shape. And then I was offered like free turkey burgers. And I was like, oh my gosh. This means I can work less if I don't have to pay for all my meat. This is insane. And then I was buying supplements every month because I was so obsessed with the gym. I was like, right, BCAAs, protein, spending like €200. And then someone was like, you can have those for free. And I was like, what? And I actually remember I got a free pair of leggings one day. And there were these small business in Dublin, and she had these funky leggings, and she was like, I think I had like 2,000 followers, and she's like, we'd love to give you some free pairs and maybe you could wear them. And she's like, you could be our sponsored athlete. And I was like, sponsored athlete, made it, free leggings, sorted. And
that's amazing.
So it was never really the plan. It's just obviously things started growing, and then they started like, I realized I couldn't advertise everything, and I didn't want to. I knew that people hate seeing it, especially as like everyone started doing advertising. It became annoying for people. So I was like, oh, hold on, I don't want to be like talking about everything. So I was like, I'll be selective. And then when you're selective, obviously you can start charging money. And yeah, I mean, like, luckily I've said no to a lot. Like, I've really still stuck with my ethics and morals, and, thought like, what do the people really want to see, and said no to big deals. And it's always kind of, I think that's worked out in the long run, because again, like, people trust me. Like, that thing, just building up trust. I mean, I hope so.
And do you have, like a 5-year plan or a 2-year plan, or are you still just going to kind of roll with punches and kind of see? Because I guess that's the tech world and the world, the influencer world. It's hard to plan and to kind of, because it's just rapidly changing, like fast-paced world that you just have no idea what Instagram's going to be like next year. Like, they bring in these features, like when I was learning, I'm still useless, and I'm like, guys, it took me like a month to work out the swipe up, and then the swipe up's gone, and now it's a link, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, you serious?
I actually think the link, I need to see some stats on it, but I think there's less people clicking on the link than swiping up.
I like the swipe up.
So like things like, but like, something like that could very easily change the course of your business. Like, if I need people to swipe up to buy my program, and like there's something changed. Like, when I actually got the new phone, I didn't have the links for a few days. I was like, oh my God, imagine they just took links away. I didn't realize how reliant I was on it to like share the gym gear that I'm wearing, or share links to my program. And so like it is kind of scary when you think how reliant you are on Instagram. But I have that's why I built up an email list as well, which I do like daily emails where I just kind of talk about things. And again, that's like, I like writing, and it means that again, people can get to know me better, and it's another platform, so I'm not, there's like 20,000 people on that, so that if Instagram goes down, I'm not going to just disappear. But I'm also like, 3-5 year plan. I didn't really have one. I did a little bit of soul searching at this course I'm doing last week, and kind of made me write things down. And I don't really know. Like, I kind of see myself, I want to have a coffee shop somewhere. I just kind of want to be traveling still. I don't want to actually, I don't see myself settling anywhere. I don't want to have kids. So I'm just like, going to keep, as long as my whole thing is like, I wake up every day, I'm like, okay, am I happy? Yes, keep doing what you're doing. If not, what can I do to change it? And if I can't change it, it's just like, okay, accept it.
And those things can definitely change as well. Like, I always thought I didn't want to settle, and now I'm like, oh my God, I want to settle. Like,
I know, I'm very open to change. Maybe I will want kids one day, but at the moment, I'm very happy living.
I shift and change. One minute I really want kids, and then the next minute I'm like, oh, like, maybe it isn't for me. And I was talking about this with someone yesterday as well. I was like, last year I was dead set in living in Palma, and then this year I completely changed and said the UK. So yeah, it's definitely...
Yeah, I can't decide either. Like, I did the summer in London when I saw you, and I was like, I loved it, but I just get itchy feet when I get anywhere. I really need to work on that, like, it's probably some deep rooted issues.
But I quite like
can't do commitment.
The 6 months somewhere and 6 months somewhere else. I could definitely do that, but two one bases. Like, you could do London and Bali.
Yeah, I come as a professional winter dodger.
Yeah.
I can't hate the cold weather.
Yeah, that's why I joined yachting.
Yeah.
No winters ever.
Yeah.
I know, I'm not built for it though. Like, I've got too much sun today. I'm like already red. I'm like, I need to just be tanned. Give it time. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But again, I'm just kind of going with it. See what happens.
And how I'm so interested as well. Like, again, I just find it fascinating because I know nothing about Instagram or any of this stuff. Like, obviously you make content and things like this. Is this all just things you just learned? Like, do you teach yourself? Do you read up on it? Do you go on YouTube?
In terms of fitness, or do you mean like
well, just
like
anything?
how to be an influencer?
I find it fascinating, and that's why I think people find it fascinating because I don't think many people know influencers. Like people were so excited when I got the blue tick. Pretty much all my friends, they're like, I don't know anyone with the blue tick, and you're one of my only influencer friends. And I always just find it, I'm like, how did they learn all this stuff? Like, how do they?
Yeah, I suppose it is from other people in the industry, I suppose. Like one of my best friends, Sinead, like she's kind of grown with me. And so I don't know. I'm like, for me, like a lot of Instagram, doing well on Instagram is all about psychology. And like all I do every day is read and share and like understanding humans. And I think that's a big thing. It's just like understanding how people think. It used to be a lot easier on Instagram though, like back when you used to post and it would actually show it to all your followers, and you could do it and you'd post it and it would be shown at that time. And I used to look, I know that people are say struggling on like a Sunday night and they're thinking about signing up to a fitness program, and you'd know that you'd post something and it would actually be shown. But now it's like you just have to put something out there. You don't know what's going to do well and what's not.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly, my mind is like blown because I would tell everyone I used to put up one photo every 1 month to make all my ex-boyfriends jealous, and that would be it. That was my Instagram life, and all
that's
of a sudden I'm like,
I mean, keep sharing.
And now I'm just.
Yeah, but I do think though there's like, I do think there's a lot of people who grow and grow and grow because they are in that kind of like they're surrounded by other people who are getting the knowledge, who have the good videographers, who have the great photographers, who are making good content, who are growing more, so have a bigger budget, who then do even better content. And I do think I'm kind of like, I mean, I don't think I've tried that hard. Like, I feel like I could have grown more if I had put more effort into it. But it comes down to like, again, why? Like I was like, my business is doing well. I was selling all the spaces out straight away. So like, it wasn't like I need to grow. I know, like I was kind of happy with the people who were supporting me and the people, like I didn't really feel like I needed a lot of followers. But I do think like, if I want to know something, I'll just reach out to someone else. Like with a blue tick, or if I see someone doing something like you, even like you did to me with Awin, like just go ahead, you work it. And most people are nice and will show you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, I don't know what Ali's kind of experience is, but I would imagine it's similar to mine. It's a steep learning curve. Everything, like even with the podcast, learning about, we just did it all on our own and we're slowly figuring it out, but the world is just, for me, it's fascinating. I had no idea what swipe up links were. I didn't know people actually bought stuff off Instagram because I've never done it. I didn't know what engagement meant. I didn't know that it meant that your followers weren't that important. It was, or not the number of the followers. It was more the engagement. This is all stuff I've learned in the last 6 months. Like, absolutely crazy. I
feel like I'm starting like that with YouTube now. Like, I started YouTube years ago and like gathered a few followers on it and then stopped. It's so cringe because all the videos are still on my channel. Like when I'm, peak #FitFam. But so I'm starting it again. But like that, I'm actually I just got a girl in to edit my videos and she knows all about analytics and how to position things. And it feels like I'm starting from the very start, but with anyone, even with Instagram, like just keep, if you want to grow and like just keep creating, like you just don't know what's going to get picked up. And that's why you have to be enjoying it. Like if you're forcing yourself to do, I don't know, fitness videos or outfit posts, if you don't like fashion, if you're forcing it, I just don't think it'll last. You won't probably keep it up long enough for it to get picked up or for it to gather momentum.
Yeah, it's definitely a full-time job. Like me and Ali, Ali has a friend, Sweat with Beck. She's another fitness girl, and like her posts they are just really, really cool. And
she's like got that flair.
And it's really not enough just to be a fitness person. You need to stand out, and her stories are like little videos, kind of, and so they're fun to watch.
Even when she's selling something, you don't feel like she's selling it to you. You feel like she's a friend telling you about a product that she's enjoying, and she's just really got it. She's really got it.
Yeah.
I watch her stories and I watch her posts, and I'm like, I need to know that secret, but I can't. I
must watch her then.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't care about other people. I'm not one of those people who actually watches influencers.
Well, the
like,
thing is,
so
I love
watching my life every day, but like I don't really care about anyone else's life, so I don't really learn what.
yeah,
like I don't watch other people's YouTubes, so I'm
it's
not actually seeing what people are doing.
and
You know
it's
what I mean?
more taking the time to learn it. I'm like, look, I'll just do a story, and I'll just, that's enough for me.
But like even your drama thing, that's great. Like I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go sit down with Daisy's and watch Daisy's story, get all the drama now.
Daisy's dramas is brilliant.
Like that.
Well, that was again, that I had no clue, and I'd actually done a question box because my friend told me, who works in influencing, and she said you need to do a question box to get your engagement up. Again, new, mind blown. I was like, oh, no idea this was a thing. So did it, and I gave someone wrote in something quirky, and my friends wrote back being like, that's really funny, you should do it. And they were like, that this keeps up your engagement. I was like, how do you all know about this?
Because they're watching other people probably.
Well, this is it. And again, I never really, like I said, I just put it up to stalk my ex-boyfriends and to put a hot photo of me. It was literally my Instagram goal. And they were actually using it and following other people. So that's how Daisy Does Drama kind of started, which is super fun, and I really enjoy doing it. But it would be cool to do like cool videos and stuff. I just don't have the patience.
It's a lot of time. It's just so much investment of time. How many hours, Siobhan, do you think that you put into your Instagram?
To be honest, I used to do a lot more. I used to be like putting up workouts and stuff on my thing, or on my Instagram. But then when I created my program, because I think random workouts are actually not that beneficial. Like I did a few last week when I was in hotel quarantine, but I'm like, do you know what most women need is not like one random workout off an Instagram. They need like a structured program. They need help and support around their nutrition. So I used to annoy me sometimes seeing people doing like, here's a 10-minute ab blast, and I'm like, that's not how you got abs. Like, stop. I mean, you're going to get loads of likes because you're pretty and you've got abs and you're jumping up and down with a 10-minute workout in your living room. It's easy, but I'm like, but you're not educating the women on how to actually get abs. So that was always so I always kind of I don't know, so then basically, I used to do show my workouts in the gym, which was, heavy weight training, and that's how, and I was getting abs, I was really lean and ripped, and I'd have people writing to me going like, how much cardio and abs do you do? And I'd say none, I'm just doing resistance training, and, I was trying to educate people. But since, I think over the last couple of years, I realized that the interaction on fitness stuff just went lower and lower, and probably because I put less and less effort in myself, but so now I just have all the content.
But you're very open about that as well, that back Ali, when Siobhan did do her bodybuilding and stuff, that you got a lot more interaction, which I guess kind of shows how unhealthy as humans we are. And you were like, this is so fucked up that the more unhappy I am in my body image and strict I am, the more people enjoy that. And it's kind of
Instagram is sexy,
world.
everyone just wants to. I mean, I'm the same. You see your friend, if you see all your friend doing a deadlift, you're probably like, oh, that's cool. You see your friend in sexy underwear, and you're like, yes, bitch, flames, you look unreal, and that's. And you're doing it because obviously you want to be supportive and you think they look great, but then obviously I'm very careful now actually about commenting on the weight loss for anyone. And I try and discourage people from doing it because you really don't, when you see someone lose weight, you really don't know what's going on between it. Like they could have had obviously an eating disorder or any kind of sickness or stress and by praising them for the shape of their body, they think then, obviously they might have to keep up these unhealthy behaviors or that they will have less self-worth and they put back on weight. Even me, when I went in, when March 2020, when I went back to Dublin, locked myself in house in Dublin, and just all I did was yoga and walks and runs, and didn't go out partying, didn't travel, anything. And of course everyone's like, oh my god, Dublin suits you look amazing, oh my god, you've lost so much weight since come to Dublin. And I was like, yeah, because I've had no fun. I was like, don't praise me. I was like, don't praise me. I'll put back on weight as soon as the world opens again. I'm like, don't make me feel like I have to stay like this.
Well, I always
practice myself and go don't take that
I always lost.
They're being nice.
I always lost the most weight when I had really unhealthy breakups, and I always laugh about it because I'm like, that's the one good thing that came up. I was severely depressed, and I lost so much weight.
Breakup diet.
This is so fucked up. I look hot.
Yeah, I know, and women place such an emphasis on what they look like and instead of what they feel like, and it's so frustrating. I mean, like for me, I think I'm trying to get people out of that, and they think, and the thing is, like they hear me saying that, and they think that by forgetting what they look like or taking less care, but they think then that they will lose their shape, or that they will automatically, if they stop, tracking their food on MyFitnessPal, that they're going to gain loads of weight. But it's not what happens. What happens when you actually stop caring so much is that you learn to like not obsess about food. You actually learn to listen to your hunger levels, and you can just make, there's no big deal. Like if I go out for pizza last night, I used to then freak about it and be like, what am I going to do? Oh, I can't believe I did that midweek. Except now I'm just like, I'll just move on. And like worst case scenario, I'm very, 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 very slightly bigger this week and no one notices. And then, and just by doing that, then there's no guilt. So like by kind of doing that and putting that into practice, like you realize that you can't make big changes to yourself fast.
It's a lifestyle. No, it's a lifestyle. I completely, and I know me and Ali can definitely relate to that. Being women in our 30s and being body conscious. And I know Ali's opened up about her body image on Instagram and her struggles with it. And no, you're absolutely right. We are definitely way more obsessed about the way we look rather than the way we feel. And yeah, it's what you're saying is just promoting a lifestyle rather than, than a program of being like, do this for 6 weeks and you're going to be super skinny. It's like, no, this is a lifestyle change and how you can incorporate the balance, which I think is, I think
I mean,
amazing.
a lot of people come back to, they'll be like, oh, I just want to get back to where, I want to be 55 kilos. And I'm like, why that number? Or they say, I just need to lose the last 7 pounds. I'm like, well, what do you think is going to happen then? And, or else they have that, image in their head. They're like, well, just that, like, that's the way I got to for my wedding. And I want to get back to that. I'm like, well, tell me what your life was like then. And they're like, oh, well, I wasn't eating carbs and I was doing boxing twice a day and running and, I didn't have my period and blah, blah. I was like, oh, so you're really unhealthy. So, but the hard thing is then trying to say to them, like you're actually like I don't advise you actually sticking to that goal, which is the hardest thing as a coach, because obviously they want to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go pay someone who will get me there. Like that's the biggest struggle. It's like the people who need the program are often the people who won't sign up to it unless they think that they're going to get a huge transformation in 6 weeks.
Yeah, what you're saying is the ones who have the most unhealthy body goal are the ones who really should be signing up to you. So and unfortunately that's
luckily at the start I was like, oh God, how will I market this? I was like, everyone else is doing, before and after pictures and amazing transformations and selling the world. And then I was like, what? But I just kind of like stick to my morals, stick to my ethics, and luckily it's paid off. Like people have people have come out of it and they're like, that was amazing, telling their friends. And like now we're so busy, which is great. Like I'm like glad that I didn't like chase the money.
Oh yeah, because it's a bit of a niche, I suppose, something a bit different than the other people. So obviously there are people out there looking for the kind of program you're selling. But I guess we're kind of need to wrap up. So maybe let people know what you could offer in your course and where we can find you. And
I think about my Instagram. I'm like, why did I use my actual name? Because when you say it, it doesn't sound like anything. It doesn't sound like it. So it's Siobhan.O'Hagan, but it's SIOBH.OHAGAN. And then my website is ohfitness.ie. So that was used to be my Instagram name, ohfitness_ie. When I didn't even have a website, I just decided that was anyway. And then I wanted to move away from fitness, so I went back to my own name. But so I have the O Fitness Furnace is the main program that we use to kind of help women like get out of diet culture, but also get them the results they want.
And it's all online, so anyone
all over the world. We've people
because I think we get mainly US listeners, but we have some in Australia.
Great. I should have talked with my accent is really hard to understand when he's talking slower.
I think everyone's used to Daisy now, so
no, Daisy speaks a lot better than me. Daisy's
really?
Posh. Yeah.
Oh, Siobhan, don't be starting that now.
You'll have to play this back at like 0.8 speed so everyone can hear me.
Okay, so that's great. So yeah, so you can find you on Instagram and look up your website, and yeah, all online. So anyone who's interested.
Oh yeah, and my YouTube.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and see the old me. Just Siobhan OH Fitness.
Thank you so much.
This has been
it's been really interesting. I feel like I want to sign up to your program now. Like,
yeah, I'm a bit
more than welcome.
Well,
message me.
Yeah, it's like such a
I'll sort it out.
Approach. So yeah, no, it's been really interesting. Thank you so much. We appreciate having you.
Thanks for having me.
Join us.
Thank you, Siobhan, for taking your time out of your day and go enjoy the sun in Bali. Well, you're coming. We're all in the sun. I'm in Spain. You're going into Summer Alley, except you're still in lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, still in lockdown.
That's
2 weeks left.
A few weeks.
It's the restrictions start to ease in 2 weeks, and it's going to take about 6 weeks till we're actually free. So, yeah, we've got a while to go. I know.
Was that great time to do the fitness furnace? Because that's a lot of people did it last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just had a baby, and I'm just at the point where I'm allowed to start exercising, and I'm breastfeeding though, so it's like. That's the whole
so go easy on yourself.
Balance.
Like
Yeah, I'm at that point. So it's definitely a bit of a turning point where I need to look at what's a healthy approach. So yeah, I'm totally fascinated with what you said. So it's been good.
Lovely.
Great.
Well, thanks again.
Thanks, girls.
Thank you. And everyone, just make sure you rate and review our podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.